Hello world, Cossy here with a roundup of this week's Geek movie news. Starting off with, as you can see behind me, Batman The Dark Knight Rises. Now that is a new image, that is the new teaser poster for the movie. And what usually comes with a teaser poster? Well, a teaser trailer. Now apparently the teaser trailer has been looked at by the Canadian Film Board. They've given it a PG rating. And it could be seen as soon as the new Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So we could be seeing our first look at the new Batman film, well, at the end of this week. Let's hope it's looking good. Some more news about the movie. Cameo news. Apparently Adam West is going to be cameoing in the film. For those of you who only know Adam West from his role in Family Guy as Mayor West, he originally played Batman in the 1960s TV series. So it's good to see the sort of tip and the cap to that series. And he had a small role in Batman the Animated Series in the 90s as the Grey Ghost. So maybe we'll see a reprisal of that. Who knows? So, what are you thinking? Give us a comment. Next up, but sticking with Batman, we've got Batman Year One, DC original animated movie based on the Frank Miller graphic novel from the 1980s. If you haven't read the graphic novel, go out, get hold of it from the library, buy it. However you can, borrow it for a friend. It's fantastic. It looks at Batman in the early days, why Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, how he becomes Batman. It's excellent, and there's going to be an animated movie based on it. Hopefully going to be as good as some of the other recent DC animated projects, like the All-Star Superman movie that I did the review of recently. But it's looking good so far. The movie's going to be released in October, on October the 18th, straight to Blu-ray and DVD, and it will come included with a 15-minute Catwoman short. Elijah Dushku, who a lot of you will know from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, is going to be voicing Catwoman in both the movie and the 15-minute short, and the short will have her going up against a mobster called Rough Cut, who is going to be voiced by Joe DiMaggio, who a lot of you know I'm a fan of. He did the voice of Bender on Futurama, and he's been involved in quite a lot of the DC animated projects recently, so it sounded like a good one, and go out and read the graphic novel before it comes out. That would be my advice. Next up, we got Beasts of Burden. Now, this has been picked up by Stranger Weather Films as a CGI animated movie. For those of you who don't know much about it, Beasts of Burden is about a collection of animals who can talk, who solve mysteries, basically. Mainly supernatural mysteries. It's going to be written by Darren Lemke, who was involved with Jack the Giant Killer. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. I think it's a great premise for a comic book. Was a great premise for a comic book, a great premise for an animated movie, and we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Next up, we've got Undying Love. Now, Warner Brothers has picked this up. It's originally an Image comic series. They've picked up the movie rights for it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Now, most of you probably haven't looked into Undying Love. It's a strange story. It goes around the story of an ex-soldier falls in love with a vampire. The only way that they can be together is if they hunt down and kill the vampire that made her a vampire. So that takes him to Hong Kong, where he has to fight monsters and fight the underworld. So it's a decent project from what I can see from the comic book side. Hopefully it translates well into movies, and though vampires seem to be in at the moment, and hopefully this will take a little bit more seriously than those shiny gay vampires that we've seen recently. Yeah, and everyone knows who I mean by that. Moving on, Hotel Transylvania. Now, this is an animated project, and it's actually a very strange sort of concept, but it sounds a good one. Basically, Dracula runs a hotel. Lots of different monsters live in that hotel, and a young traveller comes to stay. Dracula tries to stop his daughter from falling in love with the traveller. So, a strange concept, but yeah, it could work. It sounds good, especially when you consider the fact it's been picked up by Sony Pictures Animation. The guy involved in writing and animation of it is the same guy behind Samurai Jack and Dexter's Lab. His name is Gendy Tartakovsky. I always get that right. I like to look at it. And yeah, two of my favourite animated shows of all time, Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack. If this does well, maybe we'll get a Samurai Jack movie. Maybe. That's just my fingers crossed. Great list of voice cast already signed up for this movie. Just going to go through the list very quickly. We've got Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Fran Drescher. We've got CeeLo Green, David Spade, Adam Sandberg. So some good names just on the voice cast alone. We've got someone who's a great sort of comedic animator involved, and the backing of Sony Animated Pictures. Could be one to look out for in the near future. Sounds good to me. Moving on to Uncharted, the Uncharted movie. First of all, Hollywood, if you've messed up so many comic book movies in the past, and so many video game movies by just not doing the right thing, if you mess this up, if you miss the opportunity to make big bucks on this, there is a problem. This is Indiana Jones for the modern day, and it already has a faithful following of people who are desperate for this to be a good movie. So that's just me putting that out there to you, Hollywood. Don't mess this up. Signs are good though. It seems that the limitless Helmer, Neil Berger, is now involved in the project. He's going to be writing and directing the project. He's replacing David O. Russell, who wanted to do some sort of similar to The Sopranos, which is nothing to do with the video game, but yeah, have it as a sort of Sopranos-esque movie series. Why you want to do that, I don't know, but that was his idea. Thankfully, he's been kicked off the project, and Neil Berger is on. So this could be a good one. It's one to keep looking out for. When there's any news on it, you'll know from me first. Moving on to the next thing we need to talk about, something that seems to come up quite a lot at the moment. That is The Hobbit. Now, similar to last week, this isn't exactly news. I'm not going to tell you anything new, but I am going to show you this. First picture of the three dwarfs, Nori, Dori and Ori, came up online this week, and yeah, looks good. Once again, something to whet your appetite for this movie, which won't be out until December the 14th of 2012, with the second movie hitting cinemas on December the 13th of 2013. So we've got quite a bit of time to wait, but at least we're starting to see some images, starting to get people excited, and there was obviously the recent article in Empire magazine about the film. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What about you guys? Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. Next up, more casting news for G.I. Joe 2 Cobra Strikes, and that casting news is that Ray Stevenson, he's a British actor, frequently in Marvel movies, has been cast as Firefly, who's going to be a villain in the movie. He's an explosive expert and a martial arts master. So another member of the cast is announced. But if this is sort of a reboot and only Channing Tatum's coming back, who's going to be Cobra Commander? Who knows? Nothing has been announced yet, but let's just wait and see. More news obviously is going to be announced in the near future, and yeah, who's going to be the new Cobra Commander? Next up, we've got Ant-Man. Now, the Ant-Man movie is being written by Joe Cornish of Adam and Joe fame. For anyone who doesn't know what I mean by of Adam and Joe fame, check out 4 on Demand, the Adam and Joe show. Two very funny guys. He's co-writing it with Edgar Wright, who obviously has been involved with a lot of films with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and also with one of my favourite movies of last year, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Joe Cornish came out this week and said basically the film is in a rewrite stage. They keep rewriting the movie, they want to get it perfect. And he also announced that he won't be directing, but he wouldn't say that Edgar Wright wouldn't be directing. So it's a possibility we could see Edgar Wright directing the Ant-Man movie in the future. Who knows? Moving on to my final topic of the week, and that is The Avengers. Now, according to IGN, the Blu-ray version of the Thor movie is going to have a very special lead-in to the Avengers movie. Now, whether that is just behind the scenes, whether it's an exclusive trailer, or, as has been talked about quite a lot, whether it's this Agent Coulson short film that people have said has been made. If it is, I think that'd be great. It also will be good to sort of drive people to buy the Thor Blu-ray. Marvel aren't stupid. They're, driving some interest in a Blu-ray of a film that I've already said it is brilliant. So who knows? An exclusive for that Blu-ray, an exclusive for the Avengers film. Well, that's basically all for this week's Geek Movie News. As I always say, if you like this, literally like this, go and click that like button, comment, subscribe, favourite, and obviously share this with everyone you know via the means of the interwebs. Until next time then, folks, au revoir.